What's good, everybody? It is Sully, and welcome back to the final installment on the Project 1 of 1 Southport 33 FE build. It's dark, but we are in the water, guys. There are boats beside us here. Thankfully to the Lumishore lighting here above us, you can actually see everything. And we're gonna give you guys a final walkthrough video on this boat. I'm not gonna try and rehash too much stuff for you guys because I know we've talked about everything going on, you know, with the hardtop and all the equipment up there. We've already talked about the Garmin radar, the FLIR, dual payload camera, the power antennas, the power nav light, the outriggers, all that good stuff. But what we are gonna do is give you a walk around and just kind of refresh and show you everything that is good on board this boat. So without further ado, guys, let's get after it and check some things out. All right, guys, so starting up forward here, you can see we have the lounge table. Now it's in the midway state, so I want to be able to kind of show you guys. There is that JL 10-inch sub up there, along with the M677s right here. This table is the first of its kind for Southport. This is an electrically actuated table, and they've actually modified the floor pan as well, so this table can actually sit flush down in there. So we've got our little rocker switch here and our USBs, charge our phones, but we can go ahead and lower this table all the way down into the floor with a push of a button. And this is also done via our EmpirBus, so we can actually do it, you know, back at the helm if we want to. And this goes, you know, infinitely. We can go all the way from down here, sitting flush onto the floor, getting everything looking all nice like that. And we can also bring it all the way back up. We can have it as a casting platform as well as a table. So we've got that going on right there. Take a look overhead here. You can start to see some additional Lumishore lights. We've got our forward spreader light. That's kind of what's putting this beautiful light up here so we can see everything that is good. We've gone ahead, we've modified, you saw in the last video, these forward seats had a lot of play in them. They're a lot tighter now. You know, I'm really rocking it, but they are much tighter. We've gone ahead and kind of resolved the problems there and got that taken care of for some of the rattling. And then let's see, what else do we have, guys? Talking about, you probably can't see much over here on this hardtop, but we do have our 364 dual payload camera like I talked about with the thermal and the low light and daylight. We've got that going on, so that's working out really good. We got a lot of JL stuff in here. Some of the other custom touches, guys, that I didn't touch on prior to this build. We've got all of our fish boxes here, and they are all backlit. So now when we open them up, we have lighting in there. So now whatever's inside of there, we can open it up and we can see everything. It actually works out really nice. We went with the warm white, so that way if you are opening these things up after hours in the nighttime, you're good to go. You can still not kill your night vision. So that is going on all four of the fish boxes. We take our way back aft here. Remember, there was a grill here. That is actually put away, and that is gone into the storage locker right here. If I open this up for you guys, get this out of the way, you'll see we have the grill storage right there, the platform for it, as well as our dive ladder. So we got everything in its place, neatly stowed away. So we're good there. We've got all of our storage. If you want to break out the grill, you can, but you don't have to run with it. We've actually gone ahead. This is the mounting for the mini propane tank right there. It hangs from the hook and then straps in. That propane tank can live there, or alternatively, we can go and put it right there, store it out of the way for the time being. So we've got that going on right there. Let's see, what else have we not talked about on this build, guys? Obviously the full complement of Lumishore. What else we got going on, guys? Let's take a look. Before we go get to the helm and all the electronics with you guys here, let's take a look down below in the cabin. Now, obviously the cushions are in here right now, so it's taking up some space. You can see we do have our microwave right there. This is the wire chase right here for our inverter. Now, we have an inverter on here so that can power the microwave as well as this electric tea kettle. So we've got that set up right there. This is a placeholder for the, we're gonna make this for cell phone and laptop. That's kind of a placeholder storage. We wanna see if it was gonna work. We're gonna have a custom one designed and fabricated by the guys and the team at North Country Boat Works, just like that beautiful helm they did for us. We're gonna do the same thing down here. And some of the other differences you'll see down here, guys, this is standard. This was the Victron battery monitor. Now we've got our Xantrex right here. This is for our inverter. Now that is a pass-through inverter. So when the boat is plugged in, everything's good to go. We've got 110 power to everything, but you get away from the dock, it automatically flips over. And now we have power. And thankful for those high output alternators and those Yamahas, should be able to keep up to the task at hand. Obviously, there's limitations, battery management, but this should take care of all that. Speaking of battery management, take a look down here. This is an all new panel, and everything is nicely labeled between port engine, house, starboard engine, seakeeper, thruster, and inverter. All your battery controls are right here, as well as any controls you might need while you're down here, whether that's the lights, whether that's the power for the head, the macerator, or the shower sump pump. And you'll notice as we go here, this is actually changing colors. That's because that is part of the Lumishore light package. Obviously, we've got our Lumishore down light right there, and you can see we actually have our Lumishore accent lighting right here as well. So it's all part of that Lumishore package on here. So now, guys, let's hop up onto the Helm and show you everything that is going on in the world with these MFDs. Let's go check it out. All right, so the response has been really, really good to this Helm, guys, and I want to get more input on it, and you guys leave it down below. What do you think on this custom designed Helm that we have here? This is truly, guys, living up to the name, one of one. You can see here, this used to bump out and come down, and there used to be, other things here. This has all been blown out. We've gone totally smooth on here. We've got switches to integrate into our EmpirBus. We have that going on. We have our Yamaha display. We have our Helm Master. We have our joystick. Our joystick is actually integrated into our bow thruster. We have our zip wake controls instead of that big zip wake, much smaller zip wake here. Autopilot controls, nice at hand right there. Our Fusion Garmin audio system. We've got our start stop. We got our Helm Marine right there for the man overboard. We've got our lanyard. And this Helm, guys, this Helm right here is absolutely amazing. This is truly one of one. This is working and partnering with North Country Boat Works. Guys, Yamaha does not make right now, for the new Helm Master system, the reverse mount. We actually had to custom fabricate the helm for this so we can mount this in here, get the angle right so that when you're operating the boat, it all falls easily at hand and works just like it should. So we got that going on. Got our Vesper Cortex here as well. And then obviously a pair of the Garmin 9222 displays. And again, you'll notice down here all of our switches and everything, all of the labels are actually changing colors as we go, because again, that is part of that Lumishore being able to control everything on here. So now let's get into the systems and everything that this boat has going on in the Garmins. All right, so let's dig into it, guys. This boat's obviously got a ton of amazing features on it, but this helm and the command and control from these 9222s is out of this world, guys. We've got a ton of stuff going on. Let's dig into it. Now, obviously, as we edit this all in here, we've got our charts. Now, these are just our standard Navtronics charts. There's nothing new there, but what we do have is the PS70. You know it, we love it. We do a lot of installs with it. If I go into my quick draws and I tell it to display it, we can say from our sea trial, we went out today, and you can see here, we actually went out and charted and made our own charts. You can see there's kind of not a lot of depth data on there around those white areas except for where we ran, and you can really start to see that there are a lot more contours than what these charts originally are showing. So we've got that functionality there. If I go ahead and I turn that back off, we get back to our standard chart. Obviously, we have our fishing chart, and again, that kind of gives us a little bit more contoured area here, and we can still go ahead with this, turn on our quick draws in there, and now we can have our own quick draws within the fishing as well. So we can go ahead and turn those back off, and then obviously we have our radar overlay, and this is that big 4-foot phantom open array radar. So go ahead, obviously we are sitting on the hard. We're not gonna get much of an image here, but we're sitting in the harbor. You can see we are getting a return here, and this is also utilizing the MSC10 sat compass. That gives us our heading, it gives us pitch, heave, roll, all of that stuff. So with this radar and lining this all up, well, obviously we still go out, we line up on a buoy, we make sure we have the front of the boat done up and lined up properly. But once that is done, now we're going to use the heading from the sat compass. We know it's spot on, and we're going to get an amazing overlay with our chart plotter here. So we turn that off. Obviously we're sitting dockside, we don't need to leave that on. So we've got that going on there. Radar, obviously much of the same. We have single range, dual range, overlay, and dual overlay. Now, if you're new, maybe you haven't seen this before in Garmin world, if we go to dual, we have one radar up there, but we can do multiple ranges. So we can see here, one is at 1,500 feet, and I can take the other one and zoom out 4, 5, 6 feet. So maybe you're running and you wanna have a screen for radar. You care about what's nearby because you don't wanna hit it, but you also wanna know, is there somebody else further out there? You can do that and run one in, one out, and have that availability. So turn off our radar there. Now guys, this is where things start to get a little bit different and a little bit more special. We're going to our sonar screen here. So let's start with traditional. Now you'll see in the lower, I don't know, left, right, depends on how it shows up in this video here, it says Sounder GSD 28 B175 high wide, or HW. Now that means we have the GSD 28 sonar module, and because we have the GSD 28 sonar module and an MSC10, we are actually getting a true image of the bottom. It is taking out the roll. If you're traditional sonar, you kind of got that wave on the bottom there as the boat's rolling. This is eliminating that. Now obviously we're dockside, it doesn't show as well, but trust me guys, that's what's happening there. And you can also see it is on rapid return. It is firing back much quicker than its standard chirp sonar, so you're able to get better target separation. You're able to see more fish, more species, the bait ball versus the fish underneath with that. And now with that GSD 28, obviously we have the B175 high wide. We also have the B175 low. So we are giving low, you wanna go deep, you wanna go 1,000, 1,500 feet, you wanna see what's out there, we've got you covered. You wanna stay near coastal up to 600 to 800 feet, B175 high wide, we've got you covered. And because we have a PS70 transducer on here, we also have you covered with another chirp as well. So we have 3 different transducers. We've got you covered from basically about 2 to 3 feet all the way down to 1,500 feet. You're able to see what is going on. And look at that, guys. We are getting some bait coming up underneath the boat right here. So we've got a little bit of that going on. And if we want to change on this screen, I can come into here and I say sonar setup and I say source. You're going to see I can change to the low. Now obviously sitting in 5 feet of water, being on low is kind of useless. It's going to be too much power, too finely focused. We're not going to get a good return with that. But we have that option if we want to. So we've got that taken care of. And then if we come into here, we have our triple beam. Now this is utilizing the PS70 transducer. That's like, I think it's 110, 120 degree beam angle. It's a really wide beam angle, so it's really looking out beyond the boat. So when you're marking something, you need to know, is it on the port side of the boat? Is it on the starboard side of the boat? Is it on centerline? With this, we can now look into it and actually see where is that? What is going on? Are we, where should we be fishing for that? So we've got that functionality. And then our PS70, this is kind of like that live scope-esque look, if you will, and you can start to see things moving around in the water column. You see a little green dot right there kind of moving around. As fish kind of swim in and out, you'll see it in real time. The fun party trick on this one is go ahead, jump in the water and swim underneath your boat. You will actually see the movement underneath the boat. You can see there's some stuff popping up right there. Some fish are actually moving around underneath us because I have the Lumishore underwater lights on, and I'm sure that's drawing in some life. So we've got that. And then we have our historical. Now, because we're not moving, guys, I can't really show you, but you've seen it in a lot of my other videos. This is a live historical view, and it's looking out, and it tells us how far out, how big is the target, what was there. We can actually, because of that MSC-10, we can go ahead and place a waypoint, even if it's, 50 feet off to the starboard side or port side, whatever it is, we can go ahead and actually drop a waypoint, circle back, and come back to that spot. It will mark it and save it for you. So we've got that going on. And then obviously we have split frequencies, guys. Look at that, high, wide, we got a nice bait ball, right? On the low, it really didn't pick up anything right there. That's just the difference between the transducers, how focused they are, what are we picking up, what are we not seeing. That just goes to show it right there. But we can have a split screen and we can run both. So if you are fishing maybe in a couple hundred feet of water and you think a certain species that you're going for shows up better on the low versus the high wide, you can go ahead and set a screen up right here, not even in combos, just in your sonar, to have it set up to go ahead and do that. So we've got that going on. Let's see, what else do we have? Combos and smart modes. You guys know what those are? Smart modes are basically global combos, meaning we can split this up with one push of a button and have full control of both screens. Combos, we can slice and dice all the stuff I'm showing you into 2 screens, 4 screens, 8 screens, I think like 10 screens or something we can do. Then we go over here to vessel. This is where we start to dig in a little bit deeper, guys. See here, we have our active captain. We all know what that is. Video, we're gonna dig into that in a second. Media, that's our stereo. That is our Fusion and JL. So it's a full Garmin audio package on here. We've talked about it in the previous videos of everything that's going on with this one. And then we've got our Southport Garmin. That is our EmpirBus. We're gonna dig into that in a second. Zip wake. I did a whole YouTube Sundays with Sully, went down to IMTRA, and we talked about this, but here we are integrating it. So let's go ahead, let's dig into that one first, and I'll show it to you. So we come in here, we select zip wake. Now, are we always going to want to go ahead and give up full real estate of a 22-inch display for our trim tabs? Probably not, but getting them set up and also seeing what they are, or maybe putting it into a combo screen, so you're putting it into one of the smaller boxes. It's a pretty slick option to have. Now, with that smaller controller mounted on here, we just have just the wheel. We can rotate it left and right, and as we do that, that's going to adjust our trim tabs from side to side here, or I can just go ahead and move them all down and all up. And I probably should have started, sorry guys, manual, start it all up, all down. Now we can go ahead and we'll bring those all and zero those out, and I can go left and right very quickly, very simply. And with the touch screen here, I can choose manual, full auto, or just auto pitch. And we're also getting, how's the boat sitting, right? We've got our bow up, bow down, and our left and right there. And then I can kind of slide over here, and this is just gonna tell me my speed. And also if I wanna do full auto, or if I just want to do auto pitch, I can just touch the screen and change that up right there. And then here's just a graphical representation. Maybe I don't want speed, but I want to see, like I said, putting it into a combo screen. What are my tabs doing? If I put this thing into manual mode, what are my tabs doing? There I can see it in real time, what's going on with my tabs. So that's kind of a nice thing to have, just kind of keep tabs on as you're learning your boat and how it rides. Or maybe you got a little bit of a lean on, you want to look and see, maybe you got a trim tab hung or something. This is a great graphical representation for that. So we've got that set up there. We've got our steering mode on and off, and speed and heading and all that good stuff going right there. And then also we have our Seakeeper. Now, went out for a sea trial earlier today. It was absolutely gorgeous, but the seas were building, and thankfully we had the Seakeeper on. So we come in here to our One Helm page right here, and we have our Seakeeper. You can see we have it off, but we can come into here now, guys. It's dark. We came in about 2.5 hours ago. This thing's still spinning down, as you can see right here. It's at 4,200 RPMs. It's still winding down. And it'll tell us that our next service reminder is 995 hours, because it's 1,000 hours between service intervals. We can come into here, and we can also get quick status on our Seakeeper. As this populates, it's gonna tell us the quick things you need to see. Run hours and sea hours. Now remember, guys, on a Seakeeper, what counts towards the hours on your warranty? Sea hours. So if you're out there running, you're doing 20, 30 miles an hour, and the boat locks up that Seakeeper because it's not working underway, you are not using it against your warranty hour time. And then when you slow back down and it re-engages, it's back on. Now we've got our sea hours back clicking over again. fun little tidbit for you on that one as well. Lumishore, we've talked a lot about it. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Lumishore lighting on board this boat. You guys can see we've got a lot of zones of lighting here. Now we can go ahead, you know, it's fall, we want to get this drone up, get some really pretty shots with the fall colors and the sunset mode, made everything just kind of those nice oranges and reds and everything. So we went out and did that for you guys. You got to see that video right there. But let's talk about all of the different zones on here. We have multiple zones. As I scroll over, you see we've got these two here, and then you can see over here we've got another 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 zones of Lumishore lighting in total on here. So we've got our leaning post, which is the seating back here, just lighting that up. We have our engine cowling lighting. You can't do all this lighting and not do the engine cowlings. We have our courtesy lighting, which is kind of our under gunnel lighting here. We have the underwater lighting. That's a trio of the SMX 154s. We have our aft spreader light. You can see it's kind of adding a little accent light to us here as we film. We have a forward spreader light, and we have the 2 hard top lights here, and we control all of them or some of them, because I can come into my hard top light and I can just say, you know what guys, this harsh white light, maybe I want to go with a warm white light here instead. I can go ahead and change all of those things right there from the Lumishore controls. But I don't have to come into Lumishore to necessarily change all of those. I do have some controls at the switch panel down below that we showed you here a moment ago, and that will control our courtesy lights, our helm lights, and our deck lights, as well as that Lumishore 30-inch light bar, and also the docking lights. So we've got all of that functionality baked in. So let's see, we've talked about Seakeeper, we've talked about Lumishore, we've talked about Zipwake. EmpirBus time, guys. You know I love doing EmpirBus. It is just a phenomenal way to go when you are trying to do digital switching and integration into Garmin's world of things. And their team is absolutely amazing to work with. Big shout out to Tyson for dealing with us as we continue to throw curveball after curveball to him on this, and being able to just handle it and say, yep, we can make that happen. So we go in here, we bring this up. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the media bar on here just for filming's sake. Here we go. We have a white Southport, and you're gonna notice on here, the down lights are actually on, the bow lights on. We have all of that light representation. And if I go ahead and I turn on the nav lights over here, graphical representation on the screen of those nav lights coming on. I hit it a second time, it's just the anchor light. I hit it again, and now they are all off. So we've got that. We do have, like I talked about in the last video, automatic antennas and nav light. They are from Taco, they are power. You hit one button, they all go up. You hit another button, they all come back down. So you get into that bridge clearance, you don't have to jump up onto the gunnel and worry about any of that stuff, or your trailering or any of that stuff. You don't have to worry about it. One push of a button, the EmpirBus handles all 3 of those for us. And we also have independent control as well right here. You can see we also have our bow table. We have the dash backlighting. We control the brightness of it. And then we can come in here. You can see we are on all of our lights page here for the helm. If I press on that, I can turn that on and off. And then if I come into here, and now I have full RGB control of all of my lights. So again, if I come into the hard top here, which is where we're at, and I hit the button, there we go. Now I am changing the color of that lighting right here. So now we can kind of come back, and I want to make that white, and I want to make that bright. I have all of that functionality. So I don't have to go into the Lumishore page. I can do all of that from my EmpirBus page. And we also have preset scenes on here that we're going to work with the client to figure out exactly what it is he wants. So we've got all of that. We've got all our spreader lights. So we don't need to necessarily go live in that Lumishore page if we don't want to. We can just have our EmpirBus digital switching page up, dedicate a small square for that, and be able to have those controls. I can also come over here to general, and now you see this is where I have my nav lights, my anchor lights, my docking lights, my dash backlighting. Again, more lighting controls. We have an air pump up front for the inflatable fenders. That is the Atmos from Scanstrut. So we go ahead, that just lives on. It's up there, it has its own on-off switch, but for whatever reason we want to turn it off, we can do that there. The FLIR camera, we turn that on and off there. Little thing we do behind the scenes, we make sure that FLIR camera is actually powering up 5 seconds after everything's got power, so we don't end up with any network errors. It was a problem in the past. We started doing it then. We haven't changed it since. I think they're past that little glitch, but it's just something that we do there. And now obviously we have our pump control here for our freshwater, our washdown, our live wells, as well as our macerators for the port and starboard fish box. Engine data, we got to tie in our Yamaha. We're still waiting on the cable for that one. Then obviously I've got my circuit manager. It's going to come up here, it's going to load, and this is going to let us know if we have any faults. So we close out of that. Same thing over here for the alerts. It's going to come in and let us know what we have, and we can acknowledge and or disable any of those for the freshwater tank, the black water tank. Maybe you're out, the black water or the freshwater tank is getting low and you're getting the alert. You can come into this page and just say disable until you get back in, because you're not going to be able to fill it up and you don't want to keep getting that alert. You can come right in here and do that. So we got that going on. What else, guys? Well, let's go over here to video. Now, this has the FLIR M364C daylight, low light thermal camera. It is the dual payload, and we have the ability to mix both of those images together. So without further ado, I wish we were further out so you could really kind of see this, but go ahead. I'm going to bring this thing over to FLIR. It is in the visible mode right now with the lighting. So I'm going to come over to my other page here, guys. Bear with me 1 second as I bring up my Lumishore page on my other screen. I'm going to turn off all the lights. It's going to get dark in here. So if I turn that all off, boom, this goes dark. Now, as we edit this into the screen, you're going to see we have a decent view right here of what's happening. But if I come in here and I go into, let's see, I got to go to my other page here, guys. Bear with me 1 moment. I apologize. So we've got that image there. And if I go to my general here, and if I want to go ahead and turn on any of my other lights, like my light bar, things like that, that's going to allow us to see a little bit better. So here, if I go to my docking lights, those are just the side lights. They're built into the nav lights. So you can see already how much better it is with just any little bit of light that it is being given. We now have that. So we've got that going on. But now if I turn those off and I turn on the light bar, it's going to get bright for a second there. Now we're really lighting everything all up on here, and we're really able to see what's going on. So let me turn off the light bar, go back to our dark screen here, and if I go into options and I go into source, you're going to see that it says IR and visible. So now if I go to IR and I go to, I'm going to turn off IR blend for a moment. Now you're going to see we have our infrared camera. So now we're getting a nice picture of the rocks, everything in front of us here, the boats up on the parking lot, everything like that. But what I want to do is if I go to IR blend, it's now going to take both of those. And if I do this and I say, let's go ahead and make it CTV, we're actually going to get the colors as well. So if I turn on my docking lights with that, now we're actually going to get our thermal image, but we're also going to get some true to life colors. Obviously that green right there for the shrubbery, things like that. We can go ahead and we don't even have to do a full blend if we don't want. We can actually dim that down a little bit or go all the way. So if you're coming in at night, guys, think about this one for a second as I go ahead and bring up the lights. Think about this one for a second, guys. If you're coming in at night, that red buoy, thermal, you don't even have to run your light bar if you don't want to, but thermal and that buoy, you'll see a red buoy or a green buoy. The red light and the green light, you will actually see those differences in real time. So that is what the biggest difference is between an M300 and an M364, guys. It's just really awesome to have that functionality on there for you guys to be able to do that. Now, if I go ahead and take this camera, let's see, if I spin it around, we really don't have a ton of light, so let's see what else we can kind of get. I don't know what we'll be able to see or not see here. Let's see. Yeah, obviously the radar and everything, but you start to see we're getting the outlines of a lot of things here as well. So you're really getting a really kind of cool picture. So we've got that going on. Now let's see, let's go ahead and make that camera go back to home and get itself parked. There we go. It's back to home. So that, guys, It's a very long walkthrough again, but I think well worth it because the team has knocked this thing out of the park on Project 1 of 1. Our team here at Navtronics is absolutely amazing bringing this project to life. And we are very grateful for our client for allowing us to do this. So if you're thinking about doing some customization, some modifications, maybe it's not to this extreme, maybe you want to go more extreme, reach out to us, sales@navtronics.com. If I didn't cover everything thoroughly enough for you in this video or any of the previous videos, leave it down below. Sales@navtronics.com. You can also email us and I will do my best to explain it to you and we can go from there. We'd love to talk to you guys. We've got 6 locations now in New England and that's it. That's all I got, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. We got a whole lot of cool content coming your way. So make sure to hit that like and follow down below at Navtronics. Go ahead and finish putting this boat back together and show you guys some videos as we've been out running around getting it all dialed in. We'll see you guys real soon. Peace.